Hi, I'm Erin Edwards. I'm here with Cheryl Dean, president of the San Diego Underwater Film Festival. So tell me, how did it start, and tell me a little bit about the festival.
Well, thank you very much for your interest. This is our 25th anniversary for the Underwater Film Festival here in San Diego, and it's really grown. It started out in the Dive Locker, which was one of the original dive shops down in San Diego 25 years ago by a fellow by the name of Chuck Nicklin. And he was really a pioneer in underwater cinematography. I mean, actually putting together and welding underwater housings, discovering methods and techniques that people still really use today. They would meet in his dive shop and then they would put together just a local film festival, and it's really grown since then. This year we had over 100 submissions from all over the world. Most of the people submitting are not doing this professionally. These are very talented amateurs, for the most part, who submit films, but you would not be able to discern who is doing this as a living and, who's just really very, very talented. You can't just take your regular camera or your phone, put it in an underwater housing, and expect to be able to shoot beautiful photos or video underwater. Immediately, the light is lost. The colors, as you get deeper, first you lose the reds, then progressively more and more colors. So you need artificial light if you're going to be going down more than 15 feet. All of that technical aspect, but equally important, before you even turn on the camera, you need to be a very proficient diver and have excellent buoyancy control, and so that all of your diving is second nature, because you can't be looking at your gauges and worrying about your buoyancy control and trying to get that all straight while you're trying to shoot a tiny little nudibranch. Otherwise, you'll be making everybody seasick as you're like going back and forth or up and down, and just learning to hold the camera steady, get it on your subject, focus on what you want, light it correctly. There's a lot of challenges, and again, then you also have limited bottom time. So if you're expecting or hoping a particular behavior to capture, making sure that you've got it at the right tide or current, if the animal sleeps at night or in the daytime, and trying to figure all of that out. So there's definitely a lot of things that you have to plan for. The longest film is only 10 minutes, and there's some as short as 30 seconds. So if you're not interested in seeing another film on sharks, just wait a couple minutes, that'll be over, and you might get one on nudibranchs or whales or seals or something else. So it's nice to have that variety.
How did you become involved, and then what's your connection to the ocean?
Well, I guess I've been loving to be around the ocean for my whole entire life, but I didn't start diving until I was in my mid-20s. The first memorable dive that springs to mind is actually the first foreign dive trip that I took, and it happened to be my honeymoon. So Nick and I went to the Great Barrier Reef in Australia, and I had never seen corals like that. The intense concentration of so many colorful fish and the reef, it was spectacular. It just was something that the dive briefings that were being done before we would get in the water couldn't even begin to describe what we were seeing, and I was blown away. And that was 30 years ago. And I didn't pick up an underwater camera until about 2010. So really just fell in love with it, started making short underwater videos to show friends and family, and then we learned about this outlet to be able to show it to a wider audience, and it just grew from there.
So in order to not disturb the animals, what precautions do the filmmakers have to take?
In order to get good shots, we all have to be very quiet, very still with our actions, with our energy, because we want to blend in the background. We don't want to spook anything, because then you're just not going to get good behavior. The animal's going to flee, and you're out of luck unless you just wanted to shoot kelp or eelgrass that's empty. But if you want good animal behavior, you really need to blend in with the surroundings, see what's happening, and before you even think about approaching a creature, just make sure that they are in a safe spot, and then very slowly try to make your way towards them, or zoom in depending on what it is. And sometimes it really just takes time. It really takes time.
What has been one of your most memorable experience diving?
Well, I'd have to say, actually, this would be free diving. So not on scuba, but just on my own breath with a snorkel and a mask, and being in the presence of whales and having them seek you out and come within inches of you as you are just sitting there in the water, being still, and feeling as their tail fluke just goes away, all of the mass of the water that they displace blowing you back. That force that they have, but they're so gentle and aware of you and curious. There's nothing else like that experience. It's really incredible.
So I know you and your husband have several films. Do you have any films in the film festival?
Actually, we do this year. We got fortunate, and judges chose 2 of our films, so we have one each night. On Friday, we'll be screening Umwelt, which is basically a whale's world, told from a whale's point of view. And then on the second night, it's a short, basically a pretty music video called I Wish I Could Stop Time.
In what ways do you feel these underwater films can inspire ocean conservation?
Well, I think these films they're all beautifully shot in some magnificent areas that most people won't have the chance to be able to see in person. So they also feature some creatures that you might not even be aware are on this planet. So I think just the awesomeness of all of the biodiversity that we have here on this planet, especially in the oceans. We have one film that goes down to the depths. It takes a submersible down there. None of us will get to see that in person. And just some of the fortuitous events that happen when a filmmaker is in the water with these creatures showing stunning behavior, I think that can really inspire us to really take care of other parts of the world that we just don't see, but we appreciate.
It's October 4th and 5th. Where will it be, and how much are the tickets?
It is at Qualcomm Hall in Sorrento Valley, San Diego, and there's different shows each night. We also have a virtual film festival afterwards starting on Monday, and the tickets for each show are $25. There's an Audience Choice Award both nights, so we have ballots that people can complete after watching and voting for their favorite films, and then the top films will be given a cash prize thanks to our sponsors. So that's an incentive for the filmmakers.
So are there any special speakers at the event, or any special guests that we should be aware of?
Well, we're really excited. We are having Emmy Award winner Jonathan Bird in as our MC for both nights. He's coming in from Boston, and he'll be not only acting as MC, but he's going to be presenting some of his own work. So we're really excited to be able to showcase him.
So it's kind of like a social event, plus you're seeing all these films, is that right?
Absolutely. And on Saturday night, we have a reception that people can opt to attend if they wish, and that way they can interact with the filmmakers.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us, and we look forward to attending the festival.
Great. Well, we're putting it all together right now, and tickets go on sale this week. So hope to see you there.
Thank you.